Just when we thought the Pitt season 2 couldn't get any darker, episode 2 hit us with a jaw-dropping twist that left everyone speechless. Characters we thought we understood showed a side we never saw coming. And every choice suddenly carries a dangerous weight. This isn't just another plot point, it's a turning point that changes everything in the story, shaking the foundation of alliances, trust, and survival. By the end, nothing feels safe anymore, and every viewer is left questioning what they really know about these characters. Episode 2 opens with tension that's almost unbearable. And right from the start, we see the characters pushed to their limits. Every action feels like it could explode into chaos at any moment. The episode begins by showing the aftermath of the first episode's shocking events, with alliances already cracking and secrets starting to surface. One of the most important things to notice here is how the writers set up the central conflict of the episode, the struggle for power. Every character is trying to gain an edge, but no one is fully honest with each other. The tension is built through small, subtle actions, looks, gestures, and seemingly innocent conversations that are loaded with hidden meanings. It's clear that everyone is playing a game, but the rules are constantly changing, and no one knows who is really in control. As the episode progresses, we start to see the first hints of the ending coming together. There are moments where a character's choice seems minor, but in reality, it is planting the seeds for the big twist. The writers use these moments masterfully, making sure viewers don't realize the significance until the very end. For example, a seemingly casual decision to trust someone or a small lie told in passing quickly spirals into major consequences. It's the kind of writing that rewards careful attention because every detail matters. The tension is also heightened by the way the scenes are paced. Nothing feels rushed, but every scene feels urgent, like a clock is ticking and disaster could strike at any moment. The episode keeps you on edge by balancing slower, dialogue-heavy scenes with sudden bursts of action that remind you of the stakes. A critical part of this episode is how it explores the characters' motivations. We start to see cracks in their facetious moments where their true intentions leak out. The protagonist is faced with a difficult choice that forces them to weigh loyalty against survival. And it's a choice that has far-reaching implications. The antagonists are also layered in this episode, showing complexity instead of being one-dimensional. Their actions are not just evil for the sake of evil, they are strategic. And they make choices that are shaped by fear, past trauma, and ambition. This is important because it makes the ending feel earned when the big twist hits. It's shocking but also believable because it grew naturally out of the characters' decisions and the story. Logic. By the midpoint of episode 2, the episode shifts into a high-stakes environment where every interaction feels loaded with meaning. The writers use juxtaposition to great effect. Quiet, almost mundane moments are followed by explosive confrontations that remind viewers that danger is never far away. The tension is amplified by the uncertainty of who can be trusted. Some characters pretend to be allies while secretly working against each other, while others are trapped by circumstances and forced into impossible choices. This sets the stage perfectly for the ending, as viewers are left guessing not only what will happen, but who will survive, who will betray, and who will come out on top. The narrative encourages viewers to think ahead and predict outcomes, making the reveal at the end even more satisfying. The first section of episode 2 is also crucial because it establishes the emotional stakes. It's not just about who wins or loses, it's about the personal costs of every decision. Viewers are drawn into the characters' inner worlds, feeling their fear, anger, and desperation. The writers achieve this by focusing on small, intimate moments, a character pausing before speaking, a fleeting look of doubt, or a hand trembling as a weapon is held. These details make the climax of the episode resonate on a deeper level. By the time the ending begins to unfold, we already understand the stakes emotionally, not just plot-wise, and this makes the shock of the final moments hit even harder. In summary, the first part of episode 2 is all about tension, character development, and the slow buildup of consequences. Every decision, every glance, and every conversation is layered with meaning. The writers carefully lay out the groundwork for the explosive ending by showing the characters at their most vulnerable, their most cunning, and sometimes their most reckless. This creates a sense of inevitability while keeping viewers on the edge of their seats, wondering exactly how the episode will conclude. The stage is set for a turning point that will change everything. And by understanding this first section, viewers can fully appreciate the weight and impact of the shocking finale. As episode 2 moves forward, the tension escalates and the story begins to shift from simple conflict into a web of manipulation and betrayal. Every scene builds on the choices introduced in the first section, showing how one decision can ripple outward and create consequences far beyond what the characters imagine by now. It's clear that the episode is less about isolated events and more about the chain reaction that occurs when ambition, fear, and desperation collide. The characters are no longer just reacting, they are actively shaping the outcome, even if they don't fully understand how their actions will come back to haunt them. This section focuses on the rise of hidden agendas, secret alliances, and the subtle ways trust begins to break down. One of the most fascinating aspects of this episode is how it balances multiple storylines simultaneously, weaving them together so that the tension compounds. We see characters making choices that seem small on the surface: a whispered conversation in a hallway, a quick decision to step aside, a fleeting moment of hesitation, but each of these seemingly minor moments has the potential to trigger a major plot development. For instance, a character's decision to withhold critical information creates a chain of misunderstandings, driving conflict between others who are completely unaware of the original cause. The writers excel at this kind of layered storytelling, ensuring that every interaction has significance and contributes to the eventual ending. By keeping viewers aware of these small but meaningful actions, the episode makes the climax feel inevitable while still surprising. During this part of the episode, the emotional stakes become more pronounced. Characters are no longer acting purely out of logic or survival. They are driven by personal desires, long-held grudges, and the fear of losing everything. The show explores these motivations in subtle ways: a lingering stare, a tense silence before answering a question, or a fleeting expression of doubt. These moments reveal inner conflicts that complicate the plot. The protagonist, for example, is forced to navigate a maze of conflicting loyalties while attempting to protect what matters most. Their choices are not straightforward, and each decision carries a moral weight that will have lasting consequences. Similarly, antagonistic characters are portrayed with nuance, showing that their actions are calculated, often influenced by past pain, ambition, or the need to assert control in a world that feels chaotic. This emotional depth ensures that viewers are invested in every turn, making the eventual ending far more impactful. Another key element in this section is the escalation of suspense through timing and pacing. Quiet, dialogue-heavy scenes are interspersed with sudden bursts of action, creating a rhythm that keeps the audience on edge. Moments of calm are deceptive, often preceding a twist or reveal that changes the understanding of the story entirely. The episode thrives on unpredictability. Allies can betray each other in a heartbeat, and characters who appear weak or passive may take decisive action that upends everything. This careful control of tension and pacing is what makes the episode feel so gripping, as viewers are constantly kept guessing about what will happen next. The middle of episode 2 also introduces new layers of complexity through foreshadowing and visual storytelling. Background details, offhand dialogue, and seemingly minor interactions all carry clues to the ending. For example, a character's offhand remark about a past mistake suddenly takes on new meaning when it resurfaces in the climax. Props, settings, and lighting are also used to hint at the episode's trajectory, subtly guiding attentive viewers toward understanding the stakes. These elements enrich the storytelling, making it possible to watch the episode multiple times and discover details that were easy to miss on first viewing. By the end of this section, the groundwork for the ending is fully established. The episode's multiple storylines converge toward an inevitable confrontation, with characters' choices creating a complex network of cause and effect. Relationships are strained to breaking points. Alliances are fragile, and the sense of impending consequences is palpable. Viewers can see how each action, whether a betrayal, a secret revealed, or a decision made in panic, feeds into the larger narrative, ensuring that the climactic ending is not just surprising, but also logically grounded. This careful construction of tension, emotion, and cause and effect is what makes this section of episode 2 so compelling, as it transforms individual moments into a cohesive build-up that sets the stage for a shocking and unforgettable finale. In summary, this part of the episode highlights the importance of choices, the fragility of trust, and the escalating consequences of ambition and fear. By focusing on how characters' actions ripple outward, the episode immerses viewers in a world where nothing is certain and every decision carries weight. The careful layering of emotional stakes, suspense, and foreshadowing ensures that the ending will hit hard, rewarding attentive viewers while leaving them eager for the next twist. As episode 2 nears its climax, every thread of the story begins to pull tightly toward the center, and the tension that has been building throughout the episode becomes almost unbearable. The characters, who have been maneuvering carefully throughout, suddenly find themselves trapped by the very choices they made earlier. Every secret, every small lie, and every act of manipulation begins to unravel, revealing hidden truths that drastically alter the balance of power. What seemed like minor conflicts or disagreements earlier now take on enormous significance, and the episode makes it clear that no one is truly safe. The way the writers orchestrate this convergence is brilliant, showing that actions have consequences and that every character is connected in ways that may not have been obvious at first glance. The ending begins to take shape through a series of calculated moves and missteps. Characters who were once confident or in control suddenly find themselves vulnerable, while those who appeared weak or underestimated begin to seize unexpected opportunities. The episode emphasizes that the story is not simply about physical power, but also about strategy, foresight, and the ability to read others. For example, a character's careful observation of an opponent's habits or weaknesses becomes the key to outmaneuvering them at a critical moment. This highlights the idea that intelligence, patience, and timing can be just as powerful as force or aggression in determining outcomes. The ending is not just a single moment, it is the result of a carefully constructed chain of cause and effect that rewards viewers who have been paying attention to the small details throughout the episode. Emotions play a crucial role in the unfolding ending. Characters are pushed to their breaking points, and the stakes are not only about winning or losing, but about survival, trust, and personal redemption. Anger, fear, guilt, and desperation drive many of the decisions in this part of the episode, leading to choices that are unpredictable yet believable. A character may act impulsively out of fear or grief, setting off a series of events that escalate the conflict, while another may suppress their emotions, calculating each step meticulously. These contrasting approaches create a dynamic tension, keeping viewers engaged because it is impossible to predict who will emerge on top or what the final outcome will be. This emotional complexity is what makes the ending resonate beyond just the plot, as viewers feel the weight of the characters' struggles on a personal level. Another fascinating aspect of the ending is the way hidden motives and secrets are revealed. Clues that were dropped earlier in the episode now become crucial, showing that the episode has been carefully designed to reward attentive viewers. A seemingly innocuous line of dialogue, a fleeting glance, or a background detail suddenly gains enormous significance, connecting the dots and providing context for why the characters act the way they do. The writers use these revelations to subvert expectations, ensuring that while the outcome may feel shocking, it is also earned and consistent with the story's internal logic. For example, a betrayal that seems sudden is actually the result of subtle foreshadowing, making it both surprising and believable. This careful layering of information adds depth to the narrative and makes the climax feel more satisfying. The structure of the ending also emphasizes the fragility of alliances and trust. Relationships that seem strong are tested in extreme ways, with loyalty and self-interest clashing violently. Some characters reveal their true colors, making decisions that will have long-term consequences for everyone involved. Others are forced to make impossible choices, showing that survival often comes at a personal cost. The interplay of strategy, emotion, and consequence creates a rich, multi-layered ending that is both dramatic and intellectually engaging. Every move, every reaction, and every revelation contributes to a sense of inevitability, where the story's tension reaches its peak and leaves viewers on the edge of their seats. By the time the final moments of the episode unfold, the audience can see the full impact of all the choices, secrets, and manipulations that have occurred. The ending feels like the natural culmination of everything that came before, yet it is unpredictable enough to deliver a strong emotional punch. Characters are changed, relationships are fractured, and the balance of power is completely altered. The episode demonstrates how a single moment, fueled by prior actions, can completely shift the story, leaving viewers eager to see how the consequences will play out in the next episode. In this way, the ending is both a conclusion and a setup, resolving some tensions while creating new ones, ensuring that the story continues to captivate and surprise. In summary, Section 3 is where the episode's tension, strategy, and emotional stakes converge. Every character action, hidden motive, and subtle clue comes into play, resulting in an ending that is shocking, believable, and deeply satisfying. The writers masterfully balance suspense, character development, and plot logic to create a finale that feels earned while leaving viewers eager for what comes next. After the climactic events of Episode 2, the fallout begins, and it becomes clear that the ending is not just about who won or lost, but about how the balance of power, trust, and personal relationships has shifted irreversibly. Every character is left to confront the consequences of their actions, and the ripple effects of the episode's final moments are felt in multiple directions. The episode does an excellent job of showing that endings are never isolated. They are the result of cumulative decisions, mistakes, and hidden motives. What seemed like a simple choice earlier in the episode now has repercussions that could alter the trajectory of the season, setting the stage for future conflicts, alliances, and betrayals. This section of the episode emphasizes that survival in this world is about more than strength. It's about awareness, adaptability, and the ability to anticipate consequences before they hit. One of the most compelling aspects of the ending is how it exposes the true nature of the characters. The masks that some wore throughout the episode finally slip, revealing vulnerability, cunning, and in some cases, ruthlessness. Characters who appeared morally upright or predictable demonstrate unexpected complexity, showing that their decisions are driven by both desperation and strategic calculation. Conversely, characters who seemed cunning or dominant are revealed to have weaknesses or blind spots, making them vulnerable to manipulation or downfall. This interplay of strengths and weaknesses creates a dynamic where no one is untouchable, and every character must navigate an unpredictable landscape where past actions define future possibilities. The episode's ending highlights the human element at the center of the story. Even the cleverest plans are vulnerable to emotion, timing, and circumstance. Another important element of the finale is the hidden details and Easter eggs that reward careful viewers. Subtle clues planted earlier, an offhand line of dialogue, a gesture, a background object gain significant meaning in light of the ending. For instance, a character's hesitation before making a decision suddenly becomes crucial, hinting at internal conflict or fear that influences the outcome. These details enrich the storytelling, showing that nothing in the episode is accidental. They encourage viewers to rewatch the episode, noticing connections and foreshadowing that were easy to miss at first. The writer's careful attention to detail creates a layered narrative, ensuring that the ending feels earned and coherent, even as it shocks or surprises the audience. The implications of this ending for the rest of the season are profound. Alliances have been tested and fractured, trust has been eroded, and new rivalries are likely to emerge. The protagonist's position is more precarious than ever, and the choices made in this episode set up potential conflicts and power struggles for the episodes to come. Similarly, supporting characters are now operating in a world where past mistakes can no longer be ignored, and hidden agendas will likely come to the surface in future episodes. The ending acts as both a conclusion to the events of episode 2 and a bridge to the larger narrative of the season, creating a sense of continuity while maintaining suspense. Viewers are left with questions about who will rise, who will fall, and what lengths characters will go to in order to protect their interests or achieve their goals. Emotionally, the finale leaves a lasting impact. The characters' reactions to the events highlight themes of trust, betrayal, and survival under pressure. Some are forced to reckon with guilt or regret, while others feel a sense of triumph or vindication. These emotional consequences are as important as the plot developments because they shape how viewers perceive the characters and invest in their journeys. The episode demonstrates that actions have consequences not just on a tactical level, but on a personal, psychological level as well. The fallout is messy, unpredictable, and deeply human, which adds depth and realism to the drama. In summary, section 4 focuses on the